guess that's okay, long as I wake up tomorrow proud of what I did today. I used to climb the ladder, chasing Mr. Jones, but I got sick of climbing a long, long time ago. So you might say I'm crazy, but I see it another way. I just wanna wake up tomorrow proud of what I did today. As long as I can feel my fingers and open up my eyes, I ain't letting worry linger. I'd rather spend my time laughing at the thunder and fighting through the rain, knowing I'll wake up tomorrow proud of what I did today. I spent half a lifetime on the wrong side of my head, taking every dream I had and thinking it to death. And looking over fences was a silly little game, but I'm hoping for tomorrow looks like what I did today.
Hey, how's it going?
Vinnie Paolizzi, look at you, man. You are too cool, brother.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah,
I tried to get the coolest angle of our house with our piano in the corner here, and my dog, of course, heard me say hello to someone, so he had to say hello to her.
man, I've heard so many side stories from like Ben Chapman and stuff about you. So I feel like it's overdue that you're finally connecting.
Yeah, man. Ben and I moved here about the same time. We've been pals for 5 years now.
Unbelievable. You guys have ride the Nashville roller coaster together.
Yeah, man. And we kind of our stories overlap so much. We shared an office for a long time, so we wrote a million things together. And we also, kind of both similar families and similar lives, but two different states. He's from Georgia, I'm from Pennsylvania, so
Right.
We have a lot in common, though.
Yeah. By the way, Vinny, how long have you had the long hair? Because we were watching some clips of from your Philly days, and
Oh my gosh.
from the Waiting on Me era, man, and you were just like a little. I mean, you look like clean cut, like Tom Cruise kind of vibes, man. Like, when did this evolution happen?
Oh man. I probably 2016. I realized that I looked like a little kid with the short hair, and I wanted to. I had long hair when I was a kid, and I was told when I went to college that if I wanted to get a job or an internship or anything, that I had to kind of clean it up a little bit. So I, chopped it all off and tried to look like some kind of salesman for a couple of years. And then I was like, you know what? If I'm going to be a rock and roller, I gotta have the long hair back.
Yeah. Unbelievable. And by the way, Vinny, the Vinnie Paolizzi IP is out. It's out now. By the way, congratulations. It's phenomenal. For my audience that may not know, it's available wherever you may stream your music. And I heard a quote from you, Vinny, that all we wanted to do, you said, was jam and write what we felt, not what we thought someone wanted to hear. And it's so simple, but that really is like the secret, right?
Yeah, I think I said that about what me and Ben had written. It ain't easy, because we were just, you get caught in this machine kind of in Nashville, and they want you to write the next big radio, whatever. And there's days where that's definitely the goal. But Ben and I and all of us, get to a point where we started doing music because it made us feel good, and we started playing because it made us feel good. And some days, like the days you get to just do it for that reason alone, are always the best days.
Yeah.
So I try to, no matter what, I try to always remember that, and remember why you started doing this, because otherwise you get kind of caught up in the wrong parts of this whole thing that we're doing.
Yeah, man. But when you hear a song like Johnny Was a Baptist, and Ben the same with his stuff, and his band, and Meg McRee, like you guys are like really crafting like your own like unique sound, and man, it's Nashville's paying attention, like, and it's like inspiring to see that like you can forge that path.
Yeah, we were all really lucky. We all kind of moved to Nashville in 2017, 2018 kind of time, and we ended, kind of swim in the same circles. You go to the same shows, you meet the same kind of people, and I gravitated. I mean, Meg is just an incredible singer, obviously, and Ben and I actually had some mutual friends right away, and obviously great guitar player, great songwriter, great singer. My big claim to fame is that I introduced them at one of our shows that we were running back in the day. So they were both definitely, eyeing each other and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, you guys should write a song together. You guys will sound great together. And that sound, the fact that that's kind of become something people in Nashville are paying attention to is really fun. There's about 20 of us, and there's a big photo of us that's hanging up in Ben's house.
Yeah.
There's about 20 of us that kind of all influence each other and came up together. A lot of us have gone through some things since then. Man, it's just a lot of people don't get that when they move to a new city. Like, I didn't know one person when I moved to Nashville. I moved here with my Kia Soul full of guitars, and I didn't have a couch. I didn't have anything. I got this tiny little apartment in this old house, and now Ben lives there. Now he lives in the downstairs. I was upstairs. There's been like 10 of us in and out of this old house and on the west side for so anyways, I feel really lucky that I moved here when I did and met the people that I did.
Yeah, no, Vinny, absolutely, man. And that's part of your story. And your story is so great. I mean, yeah, you moved here, and then you've been playing for a long time in Pennsylvania. I mean, but like taking it back to when you started playing music, like, you want it to be like in AC/DC or like Led Zeppelin, right? Like those are the ones that really like grinded your gears, right?
Yeah, that was, I mean, my parents' music was like the singer-songwriter-y kind of stuff, and the Eagles and Jackson Browne and Bruce Springsteen and all that. But like my music was all the early Led Zeppelin stuff.
Yeah.
I was a huge AC/DC fan. And honestly, the AC/DC stuff was because you could play, it wasn't overly complicated to just play the rhythm guitar part, and within a couple weeks you could like learn a whole AC/DC album.
Hell yeah.
And I think just being part of it, being part of something was what drew me to it, and being able to participate in music like that was the first thing that really got me. And I was a drummer first too.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, I looking back how bad I am at the drums, I can't believe that's where I started. But I that's all I wanted to do, man. I was
Fantastic.
all in. I had this little electronic drum set, and then my parents finally for one Christmas, I begged and got a drum set. And then right at the same time they told me if I got straight A's, they would give me $100, which was like the most money I could ever even imagine. And for one semester of my entire life, I got $100 and I bought a guitar. And so within like 6 months, I got a drum set and an electric guitar, which was just like the greatest thing of all. I could do anything I wanted.
Unbelievable.
You know what I mean? And then I disappeared for 10 years before. and that's all I did.
Man, that's great, dude. And like your work ethic, Vinny, I mean, that is one of the coolest things that like, people don't know about you. I mean, it's so phenomenal. I mean, obviously, you went to Temple University, entrepreneur. You're like an entrepreneur, man. You're an entrepreneurial mind. You caddied for a long time. How's the golf game, by the way?
It's been better, man. This year was tough. I don't practice anymore. And I was
right.
Long story. I grew up right near a golf course, and if I could find a job I could do in the morning, then I could still play shows at nighttime. So when I was, when I was 15, I was a pretty good little golfer. So I ended up, caddying in this very high end, country club. I was like, public course kid, just, played for my high school and stuff. But yeah. And when I moved to Nashville, I was like, what are my skills? Like, what can I do? And also not interfere with music stuff. So my first couple of years, I was an Uber driver, and I would Uber until like whatever o'clock, and I'd wake up at 5 a.m. and go to the golf course and caddy during the day, go fall down, take a nap, and then go out, play a show. Or like a lot of times I would just go out and meet people and drink soda waters, and then go Uber around at like after the bars close and stuff. So it was a crazy, especially those first 2 years, like 18 and 19.
Yeah.
I said this on an interview the other day, but I had this sign in my old apartment, and it just said 75 on it. And if I could make $75 a day, then I could afford to live in Nashville. So I just had to figure out how to make $75 in a day and not spend $175.
Yeah,
But
seriously.
that was like my number. So I knew if I did, and I found 100 different ways. I still find ways to, to try to do that.
But don't you think, Vinny, that in today's music industry, that like your entrepreneurial mind, because you were a badass at Temple, like I said, you won, computer science business majors, dude. But don't you think that in today's music industry that no one knows what the hell they're doing, frankly? Everyone is just throwing stuff at the wall. That's a cool asset, man. Like that you're like, thinking of different things and how to make it work and how to make your career propel forward.
Yeah, I like college for me was a tough um like concept. I felt like I was finally done school, but I knew I wanted to do something, but that major at Temple was really just about like building a life around like a career that you love and a business that you love. I come from a family of, small business people. And when I started in music, that was kind of what I thought of. I'm like, I don't need to be like, I don't need to be a billionaire. I'm not trying to start like a new app that like, is the Uber for act. I don't really care about that. I'm trying to live a really comfortable life, and find creative ways to do that. So I still, I working on some things for next year and trying to make all that work and piece it together. And I think a big part of it is looking at the skills I have and then applying those to something that can, generate either revenue or, propel the career forward in some way. So yeah, I was really lucky. I was one of the only entrepreneurship students. There was like 20 of us that were actually making money during college and not just like big ideas. I had a business, like I was playing 4 or 5 nights a week all over Philly, doing weddings, doing,
Whatever.
doing everything. Yeah. And my teachers loved that because I was like an example. I was like, they were like, see, our students are doing X, Y, or Z. So I mean, yeah, like they embraced me really well during that time. And I'm definitely grateful for that now.
Man, dude, that stays within you and it's always going to be with you. So definitely looking forward to what you're going to do next, Vinny. And now,
Thanks.
speaking of cool things you do, man, you started this wonderful tradition, the Fam Jam.
Yeah.
Bobby's Idol Hour, which is this like old school, historic kind of mini bar here in Music Row in Nashville. By the way, I got to go check it out, man. I haven't been, but tell us a little
Oh, dude, it's the best.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about how you started this, man. And dude, it's like
Yeah.
a thing now. It's like a thing.
Yeah. Well, Bobby's used to be down the street. It's been in 4 different locations, but now it's kind of I think it's an old post office, like right in the middle of like a bunch of high rises, but it kind of is tucked back. And it's the last little piece of that part of town that still looks like it's from 1973. And it's just a beer bar. There's no like, it's very low frills. And the best part about it right now in the new location is if you get 30 people in there, it's packed because it's really small.
Right.
So, but the new sound system's great. And, anyways, I hosted the show called Revival for a bunch of years. And that's where kind of, we were talking about Ben and Meg and my friend Tyler Halverson and Colin Nash.
Ivan Hawley, right? All these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's probably, again, there's this photo of like 25 of us that shows
Dylan Murphy.
the evolution. I met Dylan a little bit later, but yes, Dylan was in my, so Dylan, Dalton, who were in Ben's band forever, they were in my band. And then once Ben started moving, they were like, peace out. And I was,
you guys are like a family tree. You guys are like
exactly.
NFL coaching trees,
100%. And the thing is, like, if I had a gig tomorrow, Dylan already knows most of my music, so he can hop in and it's great. Anyways, the Fam Jam thing just kind of started out of the Revival sort of tree because that was a bunch of older songwriters. If like Brent Cobb, Miranda Lambert started there, Luke Combs started there, Aaron Ratier started there. There's the list kind of goes, and Fam Jam's kind of like the second iteration of all that, the second generation, I guess. And I feel really lucky that I have friends in kind of all the different songwriting circles in town, and that's kind of a place where we can all kind of come together, which is cool.
Right on, man. Well, listen, Vinny, you got a busy day, and I know you're gonna play maybe a song for us, but let me leave you with this. One of the coolest things about you, man, you're a giver. It's like you seem to know that the secret to living is giving, dude. You always seem to find time for big brothers, big sisters, or musicians on call. Man, could you just like share with us a little bit about this, drive and, you don't do it for recognition. You just do it because it's who you are,
Oh man. Well, I think they're all the things that I get to. Like we just did a food drive at Bobby's. Speaking of Bobby's and Fam Jam, we did a food drive last week for Second Harvest, and uh, I think it's inspiring when people, going back to entrepreneurial stuff, where they find a way to give back to the community that is pretty simple. Like you don't have to like make $1 million to impact your community. Like
Right.
Big Brothers Big Sisters, when I did that during school, like I would go spend an hour a week with this kid and this whole group of kids, and it made such a difference. Like they look forward to it, and it you can feel that it made a difference. And with Musicians on Call, playing guitar for people that are in the hospital, we've all had family members. Some of us have been in hospitals. We know how tough of a place that is. And to just take whatever it was, 2 or 3 hours to go do that once a month or twice, whatever it was. Yeah, I just feel like it was such a small thing that can make such a difference to somebody. And if I was in their position or in their shoes, like it would be nice if someone took a second for me. Um, and with the food drive stuff, my sister is she works for food banks up back home in Philly, and just talking to her and knowing, um, again, how such a small thing can impact like people's life. I mean, this is the holiday season, right? And there's people that like don't have enough food from now till New Year's Eve, which is crazy. Especially because Second Harvest, the charity we talked to, that they can do 4 meals for $1. So if you give them $100, you're feeding somebody 400 times. You know what I mean? Like that's a couple months worth of food for somebody, you know?
Wow.
And so I don't know. I just feel like there's these like, charity for me is not like a giant concert where you get like, you need 1 million people to donate to the Red Cross, whatever. Like charity is like every day. Like how can I help you today to get to tomorrow? And
Right.
that's kind of how I think about it. And I try to do what I can, and I try not to overthink it. I try not to make it like this big deal. I try to make it just, how would I want somebody to help me if I could, if I needed it, because I've definitely needed help over the years.
Amazing, dude. What a beautiful heart you have, man. Thanks for that, Vinny, and thanks for inspiring us. Yeah, if you want to take us away with a song, man, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. See what we got.
All right, here we go. This song's called Ahead of Me. I'm not done, at least not for good. I've got a few more miles under this hood. Give me an oil change and a little gasoline. But my best days are ahead of me, like a railroad car on a one-way track. Barely enough coal, but the wind is at my back. Slow and sure, honey, I'm picking up speed. My best days are ahead of me, like a brand new leaf on the same old tree, like an old guitar with fresh new strings. I'm headed down this road, wherever it'll lead. My best days are ahead of me. I've been a raging fire, and I've been a candle flame. I'm about to burn out, and that'd be a shame. Just a little spark, honey, that's all I need. My best days are ahead of me, like a brand new leaf on the same old tree, like an old guitar with fresh new strings. I'm headed down this road, wherever it leads. My best days are ahead of me, and just a little light, honey, that's all I need. My best days are ahead of me.